Suships and Appliancers? What is the OCG thinking this week? Make sure you guys smash the little crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. The first list we actually have up for you guys here is frickin' Suships. Now, so many people have been actually super excited to see Suships actually performing in the OCG, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'm definitely a huge fan of this deck myself. I love what Suships present as a whole here, and it's actually kind of cool because we are playing Mafti in here, so it cannot be used as material for a Exceed or Synchro summon, except for the Synchro of an Exceed monster of a Magic Key monster. So that's going to be very important down here because we are playing with Pathru and the Transfumine. Alright, so keep that in mind. If you control a Magic Key monster, you can reveal this card in your hand. During the main phase of this turn, you can normal summon one Magic Key monster in addition to your normal summoner set. Alright, and when this card is normal summon, you target a level 4 or lower normal monster or Magic Key monster in your graveyard and special summon it. This actually gets to extend back out the normal monster for our Suship here. So technically acts as an extender for this, which is actually kind of cool. So we have triple copies of Astral Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and then we have 2 copies of the Moftel. Then we have triple copies of the Suship Eruka, triple copies of the Ice Suship. So if you control a Rice Suship or an Exceed monster that has a Rice Suship as material, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, alright, you can special summon one Suship monster from your hand except for the Ice Fish Suship. And you can take any number of Rice Suship monsters from your deck or graveyard and place them on the top of your deck in any order. So it's actually going to have the interaction for when you need to, one of the effects involves milling the top 3 and doing things through the ships. We have triple Maxine, we have triple copies of the Urchin Suship. So you can target one Suship monster, we control its level becomes 4 or 5. And then you can add one Rice Suship monster from your deck to your hand. Then you can reveal one of the Suship from your hand, special summon this card from your hand, and apply the effects based on that. If it's a Rice Suship, you special summon the revealed monster. Other, place the revealed card on the bottom of your deck, which you see where your interaction comes in here with the Ice Fish versus the Urchin. And then we have the Gunkin Suship times 3. And we have 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 1 Cross of Designator, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Lightning Storm, 2 copies of Painful Decision, 2 Unexpected Dies, triple copies of the Gunkin Suship Daily Special, 2 Evident Permanents, 1 copy of the Magic Key Unlocking here. Hey, who doesn't love Universal Negates? Then we have 1 Chimera, 2 copies of the rank 5, and then we have 1 copy of the Possessed Spirit, well, Pathru. I'm probably mispronouncing that. This card is Exceed summon detachable material from this card to add a level 4 or lower normal monster or deck or graveyard to our hand. And if this card has a material that's a normal monster, at the start of the damage step, this battle and opponent's monster with the same attribute as a normal monster or Magic Key monster in your graveyard, detach one material from this card to make your opponent send that battling monster to the graveyard. There's a lot going on there, but this does interact with specifically getting us to our searchers. Then we have 2 Dreadnoughts, 1 Vespinato, 1 Zeus, 1 Emerald, 1 copy of the Vimiana, and then we have 2 copies of the Icefish class Auxiliary Dish. And then we have the Transfumine here. So it's a Magic Key Tuner plus 1 tuner non-tuner normal monster, which you'll be able to meet that requirement pretty easily. You can make 2 attacks during each battle phase. You can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. So during the main phase, if you control this card synchro summon using 2 monsters of different attributes, you can send a Magic Key spell or trap card directly from your deck to your spell and trap card zone. It's almost like we can get our Universal Negate out here. Alright, I'll take it. And then, of course, we have the 1 copy of the other tuner monster. Alright, and then that wraps up the Sufish, the Sufish Magic Key, the deck. I actually really like the level of interaction you get with this. Next up here, we have Appliancer. Playing a Plasma. Actually, originally when I saw this list, this performed really well out of an OCG local. When I saw this earlier in the week, I was literally like, what I was like, what in the world is this? Like, what is going on here? And I was like, oh yeah, standard, just climb up through the big boards. You know what you're doing here. It's usually just massive generation of large monsters. Yeah. You know who we're blaming for things down here, because they do have O-line. Alright, so we have 2 copies of the Breaker Buckle, 2 copies of the Copy Buckle, triple copies of the Socket Roll, 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 2 copies of Cock-a-Doodle-Doo, 1 copy of the Codebreaker 0 Day, because this is just free link climbing shenanigans here. Then we have 1 Despot 001, 1 Denier, 1 Plasma, 2 copies of Lefty Driver, 2 copies of Max C, 1 O-Line, 1 Nibiru, 2 copies of Righty Driver. Then we have 2 Appliancer Electrical World, 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 2 copies of Cross-Out Designator, 1 Foolish Barrel, triple copies of Fusion Destiny, 2 Jack in the Hand, triple Machine Duplication, 1 for 1, and 1 copy of frickin' Terraforming here. Wrapping up the main deck here. Down here in the extract, we have 1 Verti Anaconda, 1 Aurora. You know who the culprit is for this deck. 1 Link Karibo, the 1 Hauk, the 1 Virus Swordsman, the 1 Virus Berserker, the 1 Vacuum Fent, the 1 Laundry Drake, 1 copy Kappa Kappa, 1 Slowplus, then we have the 1 Appaloosa, the 1 Access Code, the 1 Herald, the 1 Boral Sword, and then of course, why not, right? 1 copy of the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer here, wrapping up the main deck. I just love the fact that we've opted to play frickin' Plasma in our deck. I don't know what we're planning here, but I feel like if we see Plasma along the way here at any sort of capacity, that we look at our opponent and we go, what do you do? All right, you ready to not have fun? Super frickin' hilarious, by the way. I love it. Next up here is Virtual World. And yes, they're still doing things down here with Cupid Pitch. If this card is Synchro Summon, you increase or reduce its level by the level of the tuner monster used as material for its Synchro Summon. Gains attack times 400. If this card is sent to the graveyard as Synchro material, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the level of the Synchro monster times 100. Then you add a level 8 or lower monster with 600 defense from your deck to your hand. Now, who meets that bill? Oh, look. There's one. Then we get into interactions up here through this, and then Madam Spider here. The Punk archetype just builds in synergy to this. It's actually kind of cool. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 Despot 001, 1 Madam Spider, 2 copies of Maxi, triple copies of Foxy Toon, 2 copies of Seaman, 1 copy of Nyan Nyan, and then we have triple copies of Lily, triple copies of Lulu, triple copies of Lalo, and triple copies of Gigi. And then we have 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 2 Cross-Out Desert. I love how it's become more their standard here. Oh, look, 2 E-Telly. See, the OCG's got 2 of these. All right, we have triple copies of Kowloon, 2 copies of Qinglong, 1 copy of Infinite Permanence, 1 copy of the Dangerous Gabu, 2 copies of Chuchi, and 1 copy of the Zuwan Wu. Down here in the extra deck, this card. Back at it again out here. OCG loves Auroradon. We have 1 Hauk, 1 copy of Jaja, 1 Sky Thunder, 1 M7, 1 copy of Senshin, 1 copy of Jiu Jiu, 1 Vermilion Dragon Mech, 1 Tazolkin, 1 Stardust, 1 copy of Muddy Mud Mud, 1 Cupid Pitch, 1 Crystal Wing, 1 Coral Dragon, and 1 Kliga. I think it's like they're doing what we've been doing this entire time. Muddy Mud, make the Crystal Wing out here, interact with the opponent, and just have a good old time out here. Who doesn't love not letting the opponent play the game? But I do like having the backwards compatibility in here for this through the Cupid Synchro here. Well, you have access to more extending capabilities. It's going to be a little bit before we get this in the TCG, but it does make things a little bit more interesting. And the last list I have for you here is ABC Brave. Easy as 1/2 Brave token. Alright, we have 2 copies of A Assault Core, triple copies of Aquamancer the Sanctuary, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 2 copies of Beat Buster Drake, the 1 Sea Crush Wyvern, the 1 Celestial, the 1 Dasher, the 1 Heavy Mech Support Armor, 2 copies of Maxi, 1 Union Driver, the 1 Griffin Rider, 2 copies of Call by the Grave, 2 copies of Cross-Out Designator, 1 Draco Back the Dragon Steed, 1 Foolish Barrel, the 1 Forbidden Droplet, triple copies of Fusion Destiny, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Journey, 2 Prosperity, triple copies of Rite of Armesia, 1 Terraforming, 2 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation, triple Union Hanger, and 1 copy of Infinite Permanence. Down here in the extract, we have 1 Union Carrier, 1 Predaplant, 1 Platinum Gadget, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 World Chalice, 1 IP, 1 copy of Bujinki, 1 Appaloosa, 1 Access Code, 1 Dugaris, the 1 Baguski, the 1 Divine Arsenal, 1 Abyss Dweller with the 1 Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, and the 1. I can't believe they're getting away with like doing this level of shenanigans with 1 Dragon Turd. Then we have 2 copies of Artifact Lancia, 2 copies of Drawn Lockbird, 2 Nibiru, 1 Token Collector, 2 Forbidden Droplet, 2 copies Lightning Storm, 1 Lullaby, 1 Exceed Encore, and 2 copies of Solemn Judgment here, wrapping up this chunk of OCG deck profiles for you guys. I must say that I'm particularly intrigued here with the level of cool things you can do with Virtual World, Suships and Magic Key interacting together, and even with one ABC Dragon Buster down here, we're still finding ways to innovate these decks. Guys, please leave a comment about what you guys think. Smash the love and crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day with some more cool awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out Vanquill40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by Vanquill40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mquillgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.